Okay, talks about the Pixel 7, Pixel 7 Pro versus the iPhone 14, 14 Pro, 14 Pro Max, blah, whatever. But between the 14 and 7, basically. iPhone 7 versus the Pixel 7 versus Samsung Ultra 22. Um, Honestly, still on the Pixel 5. I'm more of a case where I like the base Android version out of Google, basically the manufacturer version versus the different flavors of Android from Samsung and whatnot. Because like they're now upgrading to, they just updated Samsung's Android version to Android 13. The one nice thing about Pixel 6 and Pixel 7 with Android is the whole photo lens aspect of basically photo blur and photo magic eraser, which is pretty cool. I thought it would come onto the Pixel 5, but it's not there yet. Hopefully, it will be. Um, the whole thing with the 7, I mean, 6 will never buy out because I'll never buy. I mean, sorry, because the fact is like that thumbprint on the screen, it's a stupid idea. I still like it on the back. That's why I prefer the 5 right now, honestly, because the 5 worked really well where I could just go back and touch it on the back. If it didn't work, fine, I could just go like basically the unlock pattern. The 7, it's a case of it's supposed to be faster, but it's still not using the same thing like the way the iPhone, I mean, not the iPhone, the way the Samsung fingerprint unlock is. Two different texts, of course, in that situation, but in reality, I prefer, like I said, a physical unlock on the back. Because one, there's a big factor. Your hands are going to be sweaty. When they're sweaty, they're not going to work on that. I mean, it doesn't even work on the when it's on the back for the finger unlock when your hands are sweaty or wet for that matter. So how's it going to work on the in the aspect of on the screen itself? To the face unlock, then it's not the true face unlock that they had with the Pixel 4, which I really loved. I really loved it, honestly, to the point where it really worked. The battery lasted a long time, etc. The only difference is there was no unlock because when you're wearing a face mask, 4 wouldn't unlock, of course. So that's why I liked that finger unlock on the back and the face unlock. If it's like the little island, that would work too. But in reality, using the old way of the way they did it back with the Nexus phones back then of unlocking via the single camera, a whole bunch. I don't know. Maybe not. Who knows? Um, Now between that and the iPhone, okay, so the iPhone 14, it's not, it's good. The only problem is the software, the hardware aspect of the camera works really well. Same thing with Samsung. Those two basically they pushed the hardware into it for the camera. But the thing is, that's where Pixel or Android works really well. Is the camera app works really well compared to the other two uh, on lower end spec cameras. Now, if Pixel or if Google actually put a little bit more hardware into the camera, I think it would blow away both Samsung and iPhones altogether, basically. Because look, the software works really well. That's one of the big things. But the other asset is putting a little bit more hardware or better hardware into the camera itself. I think Pixel will get a lot more users as a result. Um, Android messages, I mean, yes, it's good. It's no iMessage, put it bluntly, but at the same time, other people have to have iMessage. I mean, Android messages on their end, or something would have to support RCS. Quite honestly, I prefer messages where it does support RCS, but also if you bring back Allo, because honestly, I Android messages RCS itself basically is not supported when you're on a plane. So when those planes provide you free Wi-Fi, I tried text messaging other people through RCS, never went through, but through Signal it did go through. Southwest, of course, only works with iMessages and WhatsApp. Eventually, I think they'll work with other data-centric messaging. Um, Honestly, if I had my choice right now, yeah, I would go with the Pixel 7. But the only problem is there's that battery life, and then there's still all those bugs. So I'm thinking the third iteration, the Pixel 8, should do really well at that point. Now, the only way I'll get a Pixel 7 or Pixel 7 Pro for that matters, is if it's free or it's heavily discounted where it's only $200. If it's $200, then yeah, I would. But it's more of a case where I would not want to trade in my Pixel 5. Quite honestly, I don't want to trade in my Pixel 5. I want the 7 on its own, buy on a standalone. I still want that 5 just in case for whatever reason, the 7 fails or I break it. I still have a backup phone at that point too, which I needed in the past. When I had the Essential phone, Essential PH1, both those phones didn't work. I actually had to go and those both broke, and then I had no choice but to go to the Pixel 4. Buy Pixel 4. The Pixel 4 batteries were dying considerably, and I was like, this is not working, and I needed a phone very quickly. And that short period, couldn't get the Pixel 5, so I had to revert back to a Pixel 2, which I loved. It was actually doing really well for me 2 years ago. But then, of course, the 5 came out, so I returned both the 4 and the 2 so I could get a discount on the 5. Honestly, I prefer to keep the 5s because I still need that backup phone, to be quite honest. The Essential PH1, great concept. I really wanted it to work. It was a great form factor, but it just didn't work out. So I don't know what to do with these two phones. I have two PH1s basically where I fixed the screens finally, but I just don't know what to do with them because they're no longer supported. I can make them as essentially cameras, like an extended camera, and use them for wherever I want to do it at that point. But yeah. So yeah, between the Samsung, the Ultra 20, the 23, I think, or the Samsung Flip, or the Samsung Fold for that matter, I would stick with the non-foldable phones right now. To be honest, I mean I prefer the better phones with the better camera. The iPhone, if I had a choice between Samsung iPhone 14 or the Pixel 7, I would go with the Pixel 7 right now. Honestly, I'd probably go with the iPhone 15 if I would wait a little bit longer and see what the iPhone 15 looks like, if it's a drastic change. If there's no drastic change, then yeah, I would probably go with the Pixel 8. Who knows what the Pixel 7a is going to be. So, but the Pixel 8 should be dramatically better at least, and they'll probably have ironed out all the bugs and kinks that they've experienced with the 6 and 7, basically. The Tensor chip should be much more stable at that point, and I don't know. Hopefully, they add a little bit more money into the camera specs themselves. I know software solves a lot, but hardware does help out a little bit here and there too. And yeah, if they could bring back Allo, that'd be great too. But honestly, that's another thing. That's another discussion, anyways. But anyways, iPhone, Google needs to work out these kinks. I mean, if there were firmware updates that resolve a lot of these issues, that'd be great. But who knows how long that's going to be for the Pixel 7 or Pixel 7 Pro. And I'm hearing the battery life sucks, especially with the screen. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah, again, unedited, unfiltered, and unrehearsed. Welcome to comment, like, dislike, whatever. If you comment with a question or whatnot, I will definitely respond. Okay.